ML Sports Take. What's up, Bonnet family? All brought to you by our good friends here at Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company. Go visit them on School Street, Victor, New York, in the Rochester area. A great lineup of beers with your ales and your IPAs, your sour seltzers, and more, and gear up as well. And visit them online at stumblingmonkeybeer.com. Make sure you go follow their Facebook page. Get them on Instagram as well. They've got all kinds of deals right now, including the Mug Club and all sorts of great stuff right now at Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company. Again, the website is stumblingmonkeybeer.com. That's stumblingmonkeybeer.com. Super interactive, and it's just an awesome tasting room to go and chill and have a pint and watch all the games as well. In fact, you can take advantage right now of the awesome deal on the Mug Club and a t-shirt. You can become a member at a discounted price until July of 2024. Limited quantity. Normally $120 is $60, includes a free t-shirt. It's a $25 value, and the Mug Club benefits are aplenty, including large pours every time, one free pour every month, and a free pour of new releases on the weekend of their release. And of course, you can keep the mug when the year is over. So go check them out, Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company, the official brewery of the ML Sports Platter. So St. Bonaventure gets really a big win. I mean, again, I'm cheering. I want him to win, but as you know, the ebbs and flows, as I've said, the emotional investment for me has kind of disappeared because I want to kind of see, college basketball has just really turned into a 90-day sport, and I know that that's on the national level as a whole because the tournament is so big. Conference tournaments are so big. For people who are passionate and connected to a team, it is an every game thing, obviously, as we know, because we preview it, we talk about it. Fans and media like alum, who fall into that category like me, right? So I do get it. And so in certain circumstances, it is a heck of a lot more than a 90-day sport. But for the national level and all the rest, and certainly for Bonaventure, the way they've been up and down all year, the way they've had to come back, the way they fall flat on their face, the way they blow people out, the way they get blown out. They lose to Fordham and Canisius on their home floor, but then they, win games that you don't expect. Expect the unexpected with Bonaventure. And so therefore, again, I'm just waiting for the last 3 to 5 games of the season to see if they can get hot going into the A-10 tournament. That's about it, to see if they can go on a run and win the A-10, and really, why not? Although Dayton right now, I'm telling you, man, Dayton looks really good. So I was shocked. I don't know about everybody else, but I was stunned that they even scored 26 points in the first half in this game. Honestly, I was so surprised because at the under 8, Bonaventure had 14 points, and you're like, oh God, here we go again. The offensive possessions were awful. No shots were really going in. Some of the ball movement was terrible. I mean, Charles Pride, with about 12 and a half minutes left in the first half, he shoots from the left three-point area, literally shot the ball from the beef and barrel. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what on God's earth is going on. What in the world of St. Francis is happening here offensively? The passes, the execution, it's brutal. And I was stunned that they scored 26. So you're down 13 at halftime, which actually you kind of felt good about considering how the first half went. Bonaventure was down at one point, 17, but then kind of a chip away, right? Like Banks made a couple of free throws. He made a jumper. Adams Woods makes a three-pointer late, which was a big shot, which cut it to 15. And then Adams Woods made another jumper to cut it to 13 in the final second. So what could have been 17 to 22, 23 points was only 13. So that was a big start for Bona to go into the second half. Luke makes a three-point shot early in the second. Luke makes another jumper with just under 18 to go, and Bonas is down 11. But I'll tell you the stretch that I thought was huge in this game. There was about a 5-minute stretch that was from about 17. Let me get it exactly right. Asemvis made a jumper. Jackson made a layup for them. Asemvis made another jumper right around that 17-minute mark into about the 12:35 mark. Bonaventure picked up the defense a lot. And lately, we haven't gotten a lot of offense from the former Jan. But he started to get hot around that 17 mark with a couple of makes. And then you fast forward it to 12:52, and he makes a huge three-pointer. Pride finds him, and it's 44-40. But before that, Venning had made a jumper, and that was really it offensively. Like, neither team could really score, but Bona was getting better looks. They just couldn't execute. and their defense got a lot better. It got a lot better on the three-point line. They were covering the mid-range. Bonaventure just didn't make shots, really, but neither did VCU. So while Bonnie wasn't making shots to try to cut it into, 2, 3, their defense was amazing, I thought. Banks was a big part of that. The defense overall was really stepping it up. And all of a sudden, it's, a 4-point game. Now, I know Shulga comes down, makes a layup, and they go back up 6. But then Adams Woods makes a 3-point jump shot. Quaney, I think is how you pronounce it. It reminds me of Queth Duaney at Syracuse, and Duaney, his brother, to go back up 5. But then at that point, you're in it, right? I mean, it's a 5-point game, and you're like, okay, Riley Center takes over. We need a big couple of shots. Banks makes the jumper. A free throw by VCU. Then Venning makes a jumper. Adams Woods makes a layup. It's a 2-point game. And then the made dunk by Venning, the throwdown with 6:34, the place goes banana land. And from that point, at 52-52, St. Bonaventure, outscored them, what would it have been, 15-10 to end the game. But it was a back and forth affair, free throws and layups and this and that. And then you're looking at it and you're going, wait a minute. This is the Bonaventure basketball that we want. Remember, we're going to see some games in the 80s. We're going to see some games in the 50s. But what do I always tell you? When Bonaventure plays its best basketball, they're winning in the high 50s and the low to mid 60s. They're winning when they lock down on D, when they get everybody involved and they execute when the shot clock rolls down. It's a team effort with ball movement and people are passing and moving, and you're getting big shots and big free throws. And that's exactly what happened from every single player, including Daryl Banks. He made a couple of big free throws at 2:36 to go to tie the game at 61, right? Pride goes to the line with 1:15 to make 2 free throws as well to take the lead at 63-62. Adams Woods goes back to the free throw line and makes 2 free throws, folks. And then Banks again with 2 made free throws. All these made free throws down the stretch. Offensive execution and passing to get good shots to get to the free throw line. And also the makes and the defense in total to get you to that point where the all-around Bonaventure basketball, when they win games the way I want them to win mostly, when they can beat most teams, it's this formula. It's once in a while nice to see a 90-point output and blow somebody out. But by the same token, when you're doing that, you're also letting Fordham come in and win on your own floor, and Canisius win on your own floor. Frankly, St. Bonaventure had the recipe against Florida Atlantic. They just had a bad 6 to 8 minute offensive stretch. Had they not had that, they would have won the game the same exact way. I'm telling you right now, this continues to be the formula. 67-62, 61-58, 59-56, 64-63. These are the kind of scores I want more often than not. I know it's unrealistic to have it every game on the schedule, but when you look at this and then you go back to the stat sheet, again, most were participating. In a game where you didn't get a lot out of Moses Flowers, who normally is terrific, he played 15 minutes. He chipped in a couple rebounds, a couple of decent defensive stops. But again, the overall picture, you're going to get somebody to kind of have a bad game. But if 2 or 3 guys step in and have tremendous efforts, Moses Flowers can have a bad game here and there. Maybe one game it's Pride. Well, Pride only scored 4 here too, but he was unreal on the boards. I mean, he had 10 rebounds. By the way, they out-rebounded VCU 43-30. I mean, let's talk about that on each end of the floor. Not only was it the defense, but getting the stop and that rebound to prevent the second chance points, that was a big deal for Bonaventure as well. They had 27 defensive rebounds to 25, and make no mistake about it, the 16 offensive rebounds creating the second chance points in the comeback, which Bonaventure was down 20 at one point. The shooting was not great by either team. It was not. Bonaventure shot 35.6 from the floor. It was 39.6 from VCU from the floor. The three-pointers, 5 of 22, terrible by Bonnie. VCU went 11 for 29. They actually shot about 38% from the floor. But again, Bonaventure, when they came back, the defensive stops, the key rebounds, the overall blended scoring, right? Passing and cutting, moving, having better possessions, getting those offensive rebounds, and getting to the free throw line when they got the good shot and they didn't execute or make it, they were probably getting fouled. They go 20 of 23 from the free throw line. Again, lockdown defense, blended scoring, making unbelievable stops late, and free throws made. That's, to me, the recipe for Bonaventure basketball under Mark Schmidt, no matter what, right? And Mark Schmidt's teams, they get better in these games as it goes on, whether they're coming back or not, at rebounding the basketball. All of them do. The guards are pinching in. You get 8 rebounds from Venning, but then you get 10 from Pride. You get your 5 from Asemvis. You get 6 boards from Barry Evans off the bench. I mean, folks, look at the pattern. Look at the makeup here. Now, you don't want to be down 20 in order to have this makeup to come back, but when they're doing all the things I talked about for the majority of the game, this to me is more Bonaventure basketball than anything. And when they were coming back, it was all blending in there together. It really was. And you might get a Flowers Pride off game, but then you get 7 from Luke. Schmidt's starting to play around with a starting lineup, and over the next month or so, you know, you see Luke, Pride, and Flowers in there last night, but maybe Evans squeaks in there a couple more times. Maybe he plays with the 2 bigs a little bit more. Maybe Banks becomes a regular because he's getting his confidence back. Whatever the hell's going on with Mike Adams-Woods, it seems to be over. It seems to have passed by. He comes off the bench, gives you 26 and 13 points with awesome shot making and free throws down the stretch. You're going to have on a given night 2-3 guys off, but then to 4 other guys step up. That's what happened last night. Pride and Flowers off offensively, but Pride gave you the 10 boards, great. But from a scoring standpoint, it was Banks again. It was Evans giving you 4, you know. Adams-Woods with a 13 off the bench, which you don't know. Jan Farrell, the former Jan, was great with 11. Again, it was in Luke's 7. You could almost go the former Jan, Luke, you know, Banks, and because Adams-Woods off the bench, you don't know what you're going to get. He gives you basically starter points off the bench. There's your 4, makes up for Pride and Flowers. Pride also gives you 10 boards, and boom, everything starts to blend together. I'm telling you right now, other than being down 20, when Bonaventure passing, cutting, getting decent shots, and when they don't make them, they get fouled, making those free throws, especially free throws down the stretch, lockdown D, especially late, and getting the blended scoring and blended chip-ins on the boards as they are doing things at both ends of the floor, blend it all together. A couple of guys come out, a couple of guys come in, you get some off-night scoring, 2, 3, 4 make up for it. This is the makeup for me for this team. Now, in a few weeks, can they get hot? Can they get hot at the end of the A10 season? Can they get hot going into the tournament? And with that getting hot will be the right blend of players in this lineup as well. I'm very interested to see when the A10 tournament starts to see what this starting lineup looks like, because I got to tell you right now, last night, look at the minutes. Blended. The former Jan, 22. Venning, 33. 14 for Luke. 33 for Pride. 15 for Flowers. That's the starting lineup. Off the bench, 18 Barry Evans. Again, Barry Evans, he scored 4 points, but he gives you 6 boards. If you can just get up to that 8 to 10 points, 6 to 8, 8, whatever the case may be, and 4 to 6 boards, 3 assists, steal, that all-around part of thing. He's kind of like their Josh Pace from Syracuse, I remember, during the championship year, if you remember that player. But Barry Evans, 18 off the bench, 6 for Brown, 33 minutes for Banks, and 26 for Adams-Woods. And the RC took over last night as well. Right now, Bonaventure owns VCU, by the way, as well. It doesn't matter if they blow them out. It doesn't matter if it's home road. It doesn't matter if they're down 20. Right now, it seems like the Rams just cannot fix the Bonaventure domination of them, however it happens. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But again, that's one game. Now we're on to the next game. And I got to be honest with you, when they were down in that first half and the offense looked horrible, I was like, here it goes again, man. The Bonaventure roller coaster, way up, way down, way up, way down, right? Because you're coming off that whole, that game against St. Joe's at home where they win by 19. And I'm hearing stuff from people, season saver. I'm hearing season saver for 500. I'm hearing they're going to go on a run. I'm hearing that, this team's capable of going on the road to beating Dayton. We have no idea what's going to happen. You roll out the ball and they're down 20. So we'll see what happens. But what I will tell you is I like the fact that they were able to come back, win at home, beat VCU with the confidence going into practice now. Maybe find some things with this most recent rotation and the bench guys. See who starts next game. You go into Dayton, who, by the way, I think right now, I think they're a Final Four contender. I really do. I like a lot of what I'm seeing out of the Flyers. They're good every year, aren't they? It's unbelievable. But that's a big game. 7 o'clock at Dayton, ESPN2. That'll be a standalone game. I probably would assume that my man Mike Corey will be calling that game as well. And then it's home for UMass, home for Duquesne, at Fordham, home for Davidson, at LaSalle, at UMass, home for Loyola Chicago, at GW, and then March 9th at home against St. Louis to round it out before the A-10 tournament. So I went a little long there, but I thought there were some important points to get to with the Bonnies last night in a victory at the RC, 67-62. They'll have a full week off plus, and then at Dayton, full week off plus. It's already February. What am I doing? They'll have a couple of days off. They'll head to Dayton and play tomorrow night, or in a couple of nights here. Today's only Wednesday. Look at me. I am all over the place this week. So they'll have a couple of days off, rest, figure out the rotation, and then they'll play Friday night. See, I figured it out finally. They're playing in a couple of days. Sorry, people. 4-year-old and a newborn and working quite a bit. We'll do that to you. Plus, we're all getting old, let's be honest. ML Sports Take here as the Bonnies beat VCU, come back from 20 at the RC, all brought to you by Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company and Camillus Golf Club. Hey, do me a favor. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Again, I repeat, St. Bonaventure plays Friday night because February is already here. February is this week. That's right. They're playing Dayton this Friday, 7 o'clock, ESPN2. I had to keep repeating it as I stare at it so I don't screw up again. But please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Great talking Bonnie basketball with all of you. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.